Today we're going to talk about the top 4, my favorite top 4 tricks that we use when hanging door hangers. This is something that has really grown our company, that has allowed us to expand, that has allowed us to get more people knowing who we are, which is obviously good for our brand, because without people knowing you, people are not going to be buying from you. They're not going to be adding new services and landscaping and all the things that we are all trying to go out there and get. So I'm Jacob Godar. I have been in business since 2014. It seems like it has flown by. We have a location in Illinois. Now we have one in Cape Coral, along with some of the other stuff we're getting involved in as far as a lawn care, I should say, mower dealership, which is kind of interesting. Whole new line of business that really is congruent with what we're already doing in Illinois. And then GROW Comm, our coaching group, which you can kind of see the marker for it right there. But let's get right back into this, because door hangers are something that's been really powerful for our company. And door hangers are something that when you start printing them, it feels more affordable because it takes a lot more time and legwork than it does money. So if you can get a cost-effective, clean-looking door hanger, it's really just you putting in your time versus a lot of these other things like AdWords and stuff where you're paying per click or paying for all this recognition on some kind of social media. That can spend a lot of money really, really fast. And with door hangers, you can easily, just like I know you can target in digital marketing, but you can really target the neighborhoods you're already in and expand your route with door hangers. So let's get right into these. I got 4 things that have helped us. We have went from where we started out using door hangers to doing more and more and more to now getting into starting to have crews doing door hangers where we're tracking the crews, tracking their production and holding them accountable. So we've had a whole array of experience so we can really speak on what has worked for us. First things first, not using a standard door hanger. Meaning, don't just get the door hanger that hangs on the knob that's got the pre-made cutout. We used to do those, and a huge part of getting away from that, one, we started using rubber bands where we just pop a little hole, drill a little hole in the top of them. It would not blow off as easy. Also, it allows for more copy. You lose all that space where the circle is, where you can't put anything about your business. You can't put any information. I got so sick of seeing those door hangers blow off. Every time I shoot one of these videos where I talk about door hangers blowing off, someone says, oh, they don't blow off for me. If there's wind and it is a normal door hanger and it's got an open end on it and it's not a nook where a door is, they will blow off. And then there's doors where they just don't work as well, especially if it's a more exposed like screen lanai door out front here in Florida. They will really have problems with blowing off. So switching to a door hanger that was all copy, no hole, has been huge. Now the second thing is really the technique for hanging them. As mentioned, we moved away from the one that has the big hole that just hangs on the door, and we went to a plain door hanger that is all copy, full size. They're actually oversized. We wanted bigger, even more area so they stand out and they don't just look like everybody's little cheap hanger. We used to punch holes in them, and then we started drilling them like 1,000 at a time so we could get through them really fast. It's funny the small things you learn. But so we were always using rubber bands, and this was a pretty good option. But now a way we've stepped it up even more, and they're even faster and more efficient, is most doors here in Florida. This wouldn't work as well in Illinois because everything's a doorknob. But here in Florida, there are so many handles for lanais, for front screened in lanais, or actual handles with a push button. A lot of times we can just fold it over and stick it right in 95% of the house doors. Sometimes they fold them and put it between the crevice of the door. I don't like doing that as much, but this is another thing that they've eliminated on most of the houses where they can have rubber bands with them, but they don't necessarily need them. So no drilling holes, no excess time. They can just fly through door hangers. And with door hangers, it's about getting a lot out and trying to make that as easy as possible so you can be efficient with it. Now, number 3, this is probably one of the biggest points and biggest takeaways if you're wanting to sell more work using door hangers, really making sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of them. And that is consistency. You see, what people do when they're doing door hangers or they're doing anything in business, they start up and they're desperate to get work, so they do a bunch. And then whatever's working, they stop doing once they have enough work and they start back up. You have to be consistent. Another thing people do on top of that is they'll put out 300 and they'll be like, I only got 1 call, or I didn't get any calls. You need to consistently be doing them. You can't go out and put out 300 and say I didn't get a call and not keep doing it. You got to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. Have some kind of strategy, whether that's you have crews out there doing it, whether that's you do 5 rounds at every house. That's when you're at a place, you do the 3 across the street and each neighbor to the sides. You need to have some kind of way to consistently do them. Now the other thing that I said is with being consistent is only really doing them when you need them. That's what I was explaining about. People start, they get busy, then they stop. You can't just do them when you need them. That's always happened and used to happen. That's why we came up with a door hanger cruise. We'd get so busy that we wouldn't do door hangers. All the things we put in place to get us so busy, we would start laying off of things because we'd be satisfied with the amount of work. And that's where the whole idea of a crew came in, separate to do this, to make sure we stayed on top of this, because then we could stay more consistent. And the more consistent you are with this stuff, the more people see you, the more on every site you go out to, there's at least some door hangers going out, the more success you're going to have. You can't just put out some and be like, man, they didn't really work out for me. You got to pump out door hangers. And I don't mean 200, I don't mean 300, I mean thousands. You should be pumping out thousands of door hangers. Finally, this would be important even if it's just you. Say you're a startup and you're doing this all alone. This is the fourth awesome thing that you should do, and you should integrate this when you're small, and then as you grow, scale this with it. But really track where you've went. I used to just know the areas and do it sometime. I used to just know the areas and then go back to them every so often. But what I should have done and what I would do now if I was starting off, if I was all alone doing door hangers, I would use an app. I would use something like Under Armour walking app where you can track the walks. Now there's a couple reasons you're gonna do this. You're gonna see how fast you walk, how fast you go through an area on average, how many miles you covered. Because if you're in a certain set of houses and the density is similar, you know, if you're covering a similar mileage, you should be getting out a similar amount of door hangers. And so you doing it on your own in the beginning is going to give you the basis of what then you could hold people accountable for later on. That's why it's important. You might say, oh no, I don't need that. I'm not gonna shortchange myself. I'm gonna go out there and do a good job. It takes no time to track it, and it uploads in an app forever, where then you can compare everybody to that down the road. Now, when you get teams out doing door hangers, or you have a lot of people spending time doing door hangers, you can also have, and not just have, mandate they clock in and out of this as well. So then you can see how much they're completing. You can see the speed in which they get through. You can see how many miles they go, and you can really know what to expect from people and if they're doing what they should be doing or not. So these are the 4 things that I wish I would have known more about this, about the consistency, about tracking, all the different things, not using the standard door hanger when I first started out, using like 2 cheapy looking door hangers, all these different things. I wish I would have known this right from the beginning of the journey of door hangers. And door hangers is just a small part of our marketing because we really do everything. These are the 4 things that would have made the biggest difference. So if that has helped you at all, please make sure you hit the like button, you subscribe to this channel, and you share this with somebody else that you know that's trying to grow their business, that is questioning what are some of the things I can do to grow my business, door hangers being one of them, so they can learn and they can grow their business. Have a kick-ass day. Talk to you soon.